Hi, good afternoon, folks, and welcome to this very interesting panel discussion on enabling brands and retailers to take their stores online through conversational commerce. Now, conversational commerce, I'm sure you all have heard, is one of the more newer and the more effective topics about engaging with customers. And with a worldwide conversational commerce market of about $41 billion this year, estimated to grow about 7x to close to $290 billion by 2025. It's no wonder that brands, retailers, and solution providers are jumping onto this bandwagon of conversational commerce. And to demystify this entire concept of conversational commerce, what makes up conversational commerce, how do brands leverage it, what are the pitfalls, what should newer brands look for when they want to embark on this journey, I have a very, very esteemed panel out here. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Aruna, Jathar, who is the Chief Marketing Officer for TenderCuts. And Aruna, welcome. You're part of TenderCuts, prestigious brand of Asia list of 21-22. You must be stoked about it.
Yes, very
Wonderful.
Excited. Yes.
Wonderful. And Aruna comes in with a lot of background in advertising, telecom, consumer retail, CDIT, travel, and finally food. Please do welcome Amar Preet Singh. Amar Preet Singh is the co-founder and coup for Neemans. You all would have heard about Neemans, the country's first sustainable footwear brand, and shoes which have merino wool in them. Okay, now that's food for thought. Welcome, Amar. And you do come in with an education background. And are you based out of Hyderabad by any chance, Amar?
Hi, good evening, everyone. Yes, we are based out of Hyderabad. We have a corporate office in Hyderabad. And in fact, we are India's first footwear brand to make shoes made up of natural and renewable fibers. So
wonderful.
Totally geared up for the session now.
Super. And we have Madhur Acharya, who is a VP e-commerce marketing from Wow Science, Wow Skin Science, and who hasn't heard of Wow, one of the finer DTC brands out here. But Madhur is slightly under the weather, but thank you so much, Madhur, for joining in and sharing your concepts around this.
No problem. Thank you for having me, Siju. Yes, we would be happy to share whatever basic knowledge we have about the discussion today. And about the brand, yes, Wow Skin Science been into this the category from last 7 or 8 years, and one of the fastest growing, I would say, and one of the leading brand in the personal care sector.
Fantastic. And sure, I guess there's a little break in Madhur's video. Okay, now we're good. So let's join and welcome Manikanta Yadavali, who is a VP growth at Trell. Trell is a social commerce innovation behemoth right now, and everyone's going gaga about it. And Mani, looks after the digital marketing. It's India's largest lifestyle social commerce platform. Mani, welcome to this discussion.
Thank you, Shishir. Thank you for having me. Really pleasure to be a part of really a good discussion.
Super. And last but not the least, please do welcome Srini. Srinivas Vijay Raghavan, who is a VP Marketing Gupshup. Welcome, Srini.
Thank you, Siju, and warm welcome to my fellow panelists and everyone tuning in today.
So tell me, Srini, what were you doing on Shark Tank? You were advertising or you were looking for funds?
Well, we're a little too big to be on Shark Tank pitching. So yeah, we were advertising.
Wonderful. And Srini comes in with a lot of experience in data analytics and the education space. And hey, folks, whoever has joined in and who is looking to, who's an aspiring content writer or a field marketing specialist, reach out to Srini on his LinkedIn profile. I guess he's looking out for those positions. Right, Srini?
Yeah, hiring. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, fantastic. Good. We will have one more gentleman joining us, Mr. Deepanshu Manchanda, who is the founder and CEO of ZappFresh. And as soon as he comes in, we will weave him into the discussions. We are going to be missing Ms. Shreya Sachdev, who's the head of marketing Puma India, because she's under the weather as well. But no worries. We've got a fantastic panel to start discussing this whole concept of conversational commerce. So let me start by asking you folks, what exactly is conversational commerce? Because such terms typically tend to become marketing jargons or sales jargons, and suddenly they become the bad boy and the thing to beat up should things go wrong. So what exactly is conversational commerce? Aruna, if I could start with you.
Yeah. So to me, there are two things how I would like to take this question, and hello to all the viewers and listeners. What happens is finally it is about customer being the king, right? So customer is king, and we are moving from conversation to conversion. That's what companies do. Over the period of time, conversational commerce has only changed, and I remember the conversation we were having before we started, Siju, when you said, I come from the time of retail, right? There also you had conversations, but they were physical conversations.
Correct.
And today, India being at the technology helm it is, I think it is really about getting the customer or being available to the customer where he is, how he wants it, when he wants it. So that's really as simple as it. What's enabling this more and more better is technology. Really, really technology. And I think we should all be proud. There's so much SaaS is happening to enable this technology. But finally, that's what the customer wants. He has more choice. He wanted more choice. E-commerce platforms are giving him more choice. He wants us to be available 24/7. There are SaaS solutions available to make it available to him whenever he wants. He wants recommendations. We can do that at a click of a button. So to me, what's changed is how technology and the approach has changed, but the conversation still continues. And that's the ethos of marketing.
I think that's excellently put, Aruna. In fact, this is business as usual, like the way you said it, right? Right from time immemorial as to have brands worked with the customers in selling their products and solutions. It's just that the intensity has changed. Perhaps the way the conversations happen are changing. Where it is happening is changing. Amar, you agree to what Aruna said? Got to add something there?
Yes, I agree. What exactly Aruna has mentioned, that in the past, when D2C brands have not evolved, or the D2C space has not evolved, or the e-commerce space was not evolved, the conversations were quite different. They're more or less like a physical conversations, or maybe an email conversation, send an email to your consumer and wait for days together to get the response. So the conversation was pretty slow a decade ago, or maybe you can say 8 to 10 years back. But now the conversation has changed shifted to instant messaging, to the bots kind of a thing, where you get instant replies, converse with the customers for 24 hours, available customer support centers, and ensuring that the conversation happens instantly, the feedback happens instantly, and taking it forward in terms of making a sales driven approach as well. So the conversation platform has evolved in the last decade or so, especially in the last couple of years, where customer has been treated as a king, and customer has been given all the kind of services where he's at the press of a button gets all the required information, where exactly his product is, where exactly is his status of his refund in case he doesn't like it. So the entire space has evolved over a period of time.
Thanks, Amar. And Madhur, in your category is about beauty, health and beauty, and obviously that's a very critical category where conversations got to be clear. They got to be extremely genuine, right? If I might use the word. So, what does conversational commerce mean to you?
So I think a lot of has been talked already been by Aruna and Amar, and it's been really well crafted what they have explained. For us, as an organization, we are very focused towards sale. I mean, if you really see, the focus is purely on we only do the marketing in terms of putting some ROI to it. And hence, in easy words for me, conversational marketing is as simple as a conversation in order to capture, qualify, and connect to your self-created leads and the future leads, which are definitely being very relevant to the consumer. And I'll add on what Aruna have said, that yes, tech has played a very important role, where you now, not like unlike traditional marketing, you're showing everything and anything to everyone. It's more focused, it's more driven towards your need and demand based on your past search and sale, and hence the chances of converting in and make it more vibrant and on point for you is what conversational marketing do for us. And for a brand like us, is that this have played a very important role, because our consumer, this whole phase is very cluttered. Many brands are there right now in the category and being kind of talking a same stuff. So going ahead and solving the problem at real time, this set of marketing really help us, and we really leverage that.
I think that's a great point you brought in, Madhur. And this is where I like to bring money in. Money, a Trell, social commerce. Obviously, there was a point in time about 4-5 years back when there was a survey taken. People trusted in the terms of the brand. People trusted more their peers than the brand themselves on brand messaging, right? And I guess that's where what you do in Trell, or what social commerce is all about, fits in directly there, wherein you have a connection with the consumers or the customers directly, and you bring in that element of trust within. And how do you look at conversational commerce?
So that's exactly what we're trying to do with Trell. If you see our journey from the past couple of years, we have been trying to build a very close, clear community over lifestyle, where we are bringing really experts in terms of, say, you call them influencers, we call them creators. So people who have expertise in each and every domain, or expertise in their personal space or in their professional space, whichever they are expertise in. So making them and taking their experiences and providing it to the relevant audience by taking their whole entire journey, whether it might be related to a specific brand, it might be related to a specific product, explaining how exactly the product works, explaining how exactly the product have helped them in terms of grooming themselves, or helped them in terms of adding some value to their lifestyle, right? That's what is the KOLs bringing onto the platform, and making them explaining how exactly it has happened, and bringing those influencers onto the platform, and user coming onto the platform to understand how exactly these influencers have gone through that particular journey of a product, or gone through that particular journey of a service, right? And then you are helping them in terms of educating the customer, giving them a direct contact, or a personalized reference to them in terms of how this product has helped a particular person, is something that we are trying to build. And it's more of a personalization thing. And moreover, if you see at some point of time, you would have seen that if you wanted to make a personalized decision, then if you wanted to make a decision to buy a product, it's more towards text heavy reviews, and you are not sure whether the person is actually giving you a right review or a wrong review, or it might be because he's had a very bad experience with the brand. But right now, if you see, there is a KOL or an influencer or a creator who basically is coming forward and giving you a relevant information in terms of how their experience has been with that particular product, and saying that they vouch for that particular product to that particular brand, and then ask the customers to actually start trying it off. And that is something that really changed. And that personalization and that personalized message, and how exactly that is put in a form of content and a video, is something that we are trying to build over Trell. And I think that exactly plays a very vital role. And I see that this market is growing really big, and that's to me that's the commerce that we are looking forward to.
Excellent, Mani. Srini, you are bang in the middle of it. So Aruna said, it's about technology enabling, what was earlier, pretty established business processes in terms of having a conversation with the customers. So obviously, when it comes to Gupshup, you are in the business of enabling these conversations. So how has conversational commerce as a market panned out for you, and what have you done in the past 3-4 years?
Yeah, I mean, see, if you look at the traditional shopping or a buying journey, you have a discovery phase where you're trying to discover a product. You have a transaction phase, and then you have a phase if you're buying it online where you're sort of tracking where it is, how do you return it, and then you rinse and repeat. So this is the vehicle buying or shopping experience. So conversational commerce is about enabling this entire process through two-way conversations between a brand and the consumer, and that's essentially what it is. Now, the larger mega trend that's sort of driving conversational commerce, I think we should reflect on that a little bit, is where do consumers spend their time today? If you ask yourselves that, let's say there was a generation where people used to spend time on websites. Then we went through the whole mobile app phase where there's an app for this and an app for that. But today, where do all of us spend our time? So a lot of us spend our time on messaging apps. So we use WhatsApp, we use Instagram, we get our news from those, we share news, we connect with friends and family. So the battle of the brands, if I can use that phrase, is now shifting to where the consumer is, and that consumer is on the messaging app. And therefore, every industry from banking to education to D2C to retail is trying to figure out how they can take their catalog, their services, their engagement, across either a marketing workflow or a commerce workflow, what we're talking about today, or even a support workflow, or the whole thing together into the app, and personalize it at scale, because you're not dealing with one person, you're dealing with hundreds, sometimes thousands, sometimes billions of people, depending on the company that you are, size that you are in. So that is what we are seeing as a mega trend, and what businesses are asking of us to enable for them.
Yeah, I think Srini, you brought out a very important aspect in terms of where, or what are the touch points of conversational commerce, right? Typically, what happens is the tendency is, if it's conversational commerce, it's about messaging to the customer in terms of, let's say, personalized messages. But I guess it touches all aspects, right? It touches sales, it touches support, it touches fulfillment. I think across all business functions, you are keeping the customer aware of what's happening to his or her action, right? Or
more than keeping them aware, it's more of a two-way exchange that's taking place continually between brand and consumer through the entire life cycle.
Got it. So Amar, coming to you, within your organization, how are you, which parts of your business are you using conversational commerce? Is it only in sales, or is it in support, or is it about indicating people about the deliveries and getting feedback saying, no, don't deliver now, deliver 2 hours later? Which are the aspects that you are exploring?
Yes, we're again exploring all the three aspects in terms of sales, or the transactional journey, in terms of the customer wants to know the status of the product or whatever it is. So we do the transactions via WhatsApp as well. We do the conversations via the social media, that is a Twitter or Twitter handles, or the Instagram or the Facebook, because the entire buying decision happens now via the social media platforms as well. So you see that people hover around the ads on Instagram or Facebook, and then converse with the brands via the DMs and all. So the entire conversation happens from there. So always what happens is the buying decision, the support decision, everything support to be given to the end consumer happens from the instant messaging apps only, whichever apps they're comfortable with. So they could be comfortable with Facebook, or they could be comfortable with Instagram, or they could be comfortable with LinkedIn as well. So these all apps have become prominent in terms of giving support or adding the buying decisions for any end consumer. So this has become, in fact, the most important factor in today's e-commerce space.
So Aruna, when it comes to your company, it's TenderCuts. It's for a set geography. You do deliver meat and allied products. What parts of the customer journey do you cater to from a conversational commerce perspective?
So TenderCuts delivers freshly cut meat after the order is placed in 3 cities right now, which is Bangalore, Chennai, and Hyderabad. And we are omni-channel with 52 stores, right, in these 3 cities. Now, you are obviously, there will be walk-ins into your store, and there will be online. 70% of the business, of course, is D2C. Like like Amar mentioned, the customer is really interested in knowing, has my order, the order that I've placed, has it moved? I need it now, or I want to change my delivery slot because I need it earlier or I need it late. So these are common after buying requirements. So we of course have a call center, which uses the One Direct system, but everything finally is linking into our internal CRM, right? So we have, of course, we are using chatbots also, mainly to help customers know and track their order, or if they want to add an order, that's where we are using. So there are 3 or 4 areas, I would say. There are orders placed offline and online. All that integration happens into our internal CRM system. The bot helps take the conversation after the order is placed, or if there is a query before he becomes a customer. So these are 2 places where the chatbots are helping. Otherwise, of course, the inbound call center or outbound call center is definitely there. Everything finally links into even on social media. When the customer is reaching us out, we are responding through a social media tool to him, and we're using Freshbot from Freshworks, etc. So all that is all integrating into our internal CRM system. So at any point, wherever he reaches us, whether it's through our call center or through our stores, we do a ticket tagging, and then basically give all the conversations out basis the ticket that is tagged and make sure we are responding in time. So we are only upping the game in terms of how we can respond and how the customer can reach us.
Obviously, obviously you're open to other avenues as well, as and when how the model evolves.
Absolutely, yeah. There are a lot of models that will only help us both for conversations as well as for improving the final customer experience.
Okay, I think it's a great time to kind of ease in Deepanshu Manchanda, who's just joined us. He's the founder and CEO of ZappFresh. Hi, good afternoon, Deepanshu. Thanks for joining in.
Hi. I'm so sorry for being late. I had an extended call.
No worries. Overlapping calls is always good for business. So I'm happy to hear that. But thank you so much for joining in, Deepanshu. And just easing you into the conversation, we just started talking about conversation commerce. What exactly is conversation commerce? Because there's a lot of talk around this particular model. And we were just exploring as to how the brands that of the folks on the panel kind of represent, they are using conversational commerce. So I think it's a good time for you to come in and probably give us an idea in terms of how does ZappFresh leverage the whole idea about conversational commerce? What does conversational commerce mean to you at ZappFresh?
So very critical, Siju, I must say. I think back in the day and even today, we see that word of mouth plays a critical role. And our endeavor is to organically grow without burning a lot of capital. So we believe in conversational engagement with the customer. How do we do it as of today is through, we don't rely on chatbots because we believe it is more mechanized. It does not have that personal touch. So where manual intervention is required, we have community leaders who are basically managing each geography or each cluster as their own BAU, and then manage that customer base through the help of CRM in order to escalate or de-escalate some of the issues which come throughout post delivery or pre-delivery. So it's a slightly more comprehensive format, and technology is something which we believe is still evolving, and we are also keeping a close eye in order to see that how personalization can help us kick conversational engagement, which as of today is still evolutionary. That's what we believe in.
Great, thank you so much, Deepanshu. And Madhur, coming to you, what are the top two imperatives for you at WOW to kind of adopt this whole concept of conversational commerce?
See, what makes us different from the entire segment right now is the personal care segment, where the consumer is also seeking for tips. It's about something you're applying on your body, and it's very important for them to know, and they are very furious. They want to buy something right now, and they want to know what to buy, which not gonna spoil their hair and skin, and we are very particular about it. So that's something my customer really needs, something this doesn't want to waste time on it. I'll tell you a couple of pointers on what we have done. So on a very small batches, we have done a survey among our customer, and about 45% people have listed that they want to use the conversation marketing channels from WOW to discuss the advice they seek. And there's no someone who give them a clear picture on what can be used, what can be a regime which can be followed. And here we play the important role. So like everyone mentioned, Facebook, direct messages, DM, personal chat, email, everything we're doing on point. What makes different and what strategy we are heading towards to finding more new avenue towards it is to give my customer a real-time solution of the problem they are seeking in the market. Now, how does it improve my business overall? Is first, it helped me to improve my product. I get the feedback real time.
Right.
It helped me to reduce my customer acquisition cost, because now I am reaching out to the consumer via a channel which is cheaper, and hence I don't have to target them on a different funnel journey and pay money around that. So my CAC is being reduced, my cost is being saved for my company. And then my NPS score, which we are very particular about. So like I mentioned in the beginning also, we are very, very sale driven company. We only market ourselves where we know that we're going to make some ROI, if not now, in future. And this is what we have been doing. Another funnel which we are trying to get is now getting into the Google or Alexas of the world. Is our next channel, that how do we reach to that funnel, that when you say, hey Alexa, get me the best oil for my hair fall problem, the Alexa should come and say, wow is the best solution for you, and the product has been added to your cart from buywow.in.
Okay, I think Mani, conversations within the house is going to become extremely difficult now. Got to be very careful to figure out if Alexa is on or not, because we will have Madhur waiting in the wings, because what he's talking about is a common problem, right? Now coming to you, so obviously all this is music to your ears, right? In terms of the way brands are looking at the entire aspect of enhancing engagement, enhancing the entire aspect of the brand customer interaction. But end of the day, Mani, what matters really is how do you deliver that experience, right?
Being available for the customer within I say one button click, and trying to resolve the customer's problem without keeping the seat. If you see the customer journey or customer's behavior right now, it's like people need it fast. People don't want to wait for anything. Like you have 10-minute deliveries that are happening nowadays.
Right.
Okay. And if a customer trusted you to place an order with your platform, and if you're not able to answer his queries at immediately at any point of time, I don't think the customer is never going to come back to your platform. So that's something that we like Madhur rightly pointed out. NPS is something that we have taken it very, very seriously, and our scores are really, really high because we are available for the customer 24/7, and we have all the avenues that are open. The customer can reach out to us through their like I told you, it's a single button click, and we have automated every touch point that the customer can reach out to. For example, let's say if the customer wanted to reach out to us on WhatsApp, we are available. If they wanted to reach out to us on Trell as a platform, we have a chatbot that is available there. We have people who are available 24/7 for taking customer queries and helping them understand what exactly is happening with their particular order, with their content, with their say any of the activities that they have done on the platform. And at the same time, we have community leaders. We also have say customer support team and our customer support team, as well as our community team, who are always on top of it to make sure that they are always available for any of the stakeholder, right? It might be a customer, it might be a content creator, it might be someone who came to actually view on the platform, right? Anyone who wanted to consume content, right? We are always available, and there are two ways to do it, right? One, we are always available on the WhatsApp. We have a team of people who basically help us in terms of making sure that they are available on WhatsApp, and immediately they connect us to the right team to have conversations. If let's say if it is not happening, they can always enter into Trell app, and they have a option to reach us directly to a couple of folks. And all the social medias are linked with our internal CRMs, where any notification that goes related to any order, anything on the platform, it might be the app is getting slow, or the customer is facing problem in terms of uploading a video or anything, we are available immediately. They can just write ping to us, and our customer support team or our content managers or say the language managers, we get in touch with them very immediately. If it is not happening at the lower level, we have very clear hierarchy set. If it is not happening at one stage, it is going to the other stage, and then at the end of the day, being a team of big good team, I think some or the other person responds immediately, and it's very clearly defined in the organization. So that's how we are trying to address the problem, and I think we have been successful so far, and we don't have any issues with our customers right now. People are really happy with the service that we are providing, and we have a really great NPS score that's going on.
No, when you say people are really, or your customers are really happy, you're talking of individual consumers, or you're talking of a brand like, let's say, Wow?
You can ask Wow, are they happy with us or not? Maybe Mathur can validate it also.
Yeah, we are extremely happy. Just reduce a little cost for the creators, please.
Probably I should give it for
those are very expensive for us because of
maybe you
the
should give me an
Money, you
exclusive
walked into that one. You walked into that one.
Yeah.
That's
So
what I'm saying. Maybe Mathur should give me a specific discount for Trell, and I'm ready to give him free creators for the platform. It's as simple as that.
okay,
deal is yours right now. Discounts is yours. Pricing are mine.
I'm just
fantastic.
sorry to make it go live immediately. I can do it. It's not a
So,
problem.
so Mani, what really impressed me about Trell is the fact that the role that you play in this thing called the creator economy. Right? We've all been part of a consumption economy for a long, long period of time.
Correct.
Even
Correct.
so much so that YouTube was all about consuming videos, right?
Yes.
But now it's just the opposite. It's YouTube is all about the videos being created, right?
Yep.
And that's where I guess you play a major role as well. And it's interesting to know that. You are leveraging the principles of conversational commerce to help build a content supply chain, which actually helps the brands, right? I mean, it's not only about the products or the solutions that the brands sell, but you're actually helping. So if Amar wants content to be created, he can find them on your platform. I mean, at least the creators on your platform.
Yes. So and at the same time, we are also trying to solve this interesting piece, right? See, there is a very fine line between how a customer makes a purchase decision, right? See, if someone who has a very limited idea about your particular brand, for example, let's say any brand for that matter, if they have not spent a lot into their marketing, okay, and if they could not reach, say, the top of the mind is not that great for that particular brand, the customer might not be interested in terms of purchasing that product. But if you're able to explain that very clearly and make sure that you're giving it in the right form of content through someone who has actually used the product and who are actually called key opinion leaders, say a beautician is talking about a specific product, for example, let's say wow, okay, or a consumer who has used it for quite a long time and they have seen the experience, maybe their hair fall got better or the skin got clear or they really like the brand and they started giving the journey very clearly on the platform. That gives the trust to the consumer to buy that particular product, right? And being KOLs of that particular brand helps them grow a little quicker, and that's how they can start making the revenues too, right? And
Sure.
we are trying to enable both the pieces very clearly, where brands can actually get benefited in terms of explaining their key pointers or say their aspects of the brand very clearly, and at the same time we are trying to figure out who are those right set of creators or influencers who can actually help the brand in terms of boosting or providing that experience to the brand and taking that out to the world, and that's how we're trying it.
Great. So, Srini, we're just about warming up, and I'll come to you in terms of, what are the actual technology components that go into conversational commerce, right? We will just demystify that in a bit. But very, very quickly, one simple word, digit answer. If I were to ask all of you, Deepanshu, let me start with you. If I were to oversimplify the entire customer journey into three pieces, pre-purchase, purchase, and post-purchase, I won't even get into advocacy, but pre-purchase, purchase, post-purchase, how many of these aspects do you take care with conversational commerce? 3x3, 2x3, 1x3?
So we spend, 2x3 is what we do.
And which is the part that you're missing out now?
I think the post-purchase part.
Okay. What about you, Amar?
I think we do 3x3 now.
Okay.
We do the transactional as well. We do the conversation and support and service as well. So all the three aspects we're touching at the moment.
And which of these three do you think is a crucial component on which a lot of your focus is going to be in the, let's say, next 2 quarters?
See, in the past, and in the last couple of years, what has happened is 7 to 8 years back, where the content consumer used to walk into stores and depend on the advice of salespeople and what should be bought and what shouldn't be bought. So now the e-commerce coming in play and then entire conversational messaging or conversation commerce being getting involved. So what I believe is the virtual video commerce getting imbibed, and you can always say that you can interact with your end consumer over the transaction. You can give them a video commerce of a demo kind of a thing. So I see a transactional phase or transactional being much more better and advanced, where the end consumer can get a little better in terms of advice and having a real feel of the kind of an augmented reality kind of a feel of the product. That is what I see in a transactional phase of consumer journey. That's what I'm looking at in the next couple of years.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that insight, Amar. Aruna, 2x3, 3x3, 1x3?
3x3, but I think my answer will be similar to Amar.
Okay.
On where we can beef up, but it is 3x3 very much, and it's really a focus for us.
Wonderful. And Madhur?
I'll also go by 3 because for our category in particular, we really need to take the customer from warm to heaten up. And then once he has become a dormant, we really need to retarget them on the basis of their previous purchases.
Okay, wonderful. So now this is the point where I get you in, Shini, because we've seen many concepts over the last 2 decades which have come up and kind of disappeared. Some of them just fall by the wayside and disappear. But I guess 2015 is when Uber's I think Chris Massima kind of coined this term conversational commerce. But 2015 to 2022, 7 years, it's just picked up strength, right? It's just picked up speed, picked up strength, and people are more and more convinced of the fact that yes, this is the way to do it. But let's demystify this a bit, because my conversation with a couple of brands about 3 years back, conversational commerce started and ended with WhatsApp. Okay, I'm being a little bit brutal here, but that's what and these are large brands that I'm talking about. These are global brands that I'm talking about. And for them, conversational commerce was about having a WhatsApp engine or a chat bot at the max. So let's demystify it for everyone who's investing time on this call. And would you tell us in terms of what exactly goes into making this conversational commerce a technological marvel that it is today?
Yeah, I think in other cases, the concept was far ahead of the technology for many years. And I think we saw that in our evolution as GupShup as well. So we had built a lot of this technology, but that product market fit took some time. We had to wait for consumers to actually start making messaging and all of these chatbots a part of their life before the businesses could actually jump in and say, okay, I want to be there. So that explains why it took this many years to actually become mainstream. But of course, to explain how it actually works or what's the technology behind it, it's obviously like any other technology, it's multi-layered. And it always starts with the first touch point. And the touch point can be a physical touch point. Like if you have a store, you can convert a physical surface into a conversation starter, like we use QR codes, or you can use links, the digital touch point. Or if you run a website, or if you have a mobile app, there are touch points there where your consumers can actually look at a world of clicks, and then start a conversation by clicking one of them. Now, what's behind that is where the magic is. So you have obviously a customer data platform that sort of tries and understands who you're conversing with and get as much of information about them as possible. So it could be like a support use case. I think many of you spoke about order tracking and supporting your customers. So how quickly when somebody does that first touch point to say that where is my order or something like that, how can I find out as much about this individual as possible or in an automated fashion, and then craft the next few follow-up questions and answers. So there's a whole CDP or customer data platform that sits behind that. And alongside that is a conversational AI engine that is trying to interpret what you're actually asking or trying to interpret intent. So of course, the order query is a very straightforward query, but let's say I'm doing a return. Let's say I want to pay for something in a return with my loyalty points that I've accumulated. That's not a straightforward thing. It requires a few different systems to talk to each other. So those kind of things can be orchestrated in a lot of these conversational AI-driven workflows where you use natural language processing to sort of understand what the person is typing. And at GupShup, Hinglish is very popular these days. So a lot of our consumers ask us, can you help us understand Hinglish? So Tamil is big, English is big. So a lot of vernacular requirements are also coming in because people type the way they are comfortable typing, and you shouldn't expect them to learn a new way of communication. So that whole conversational AI piece is also there.
But Shini, if I might just interrupt here, is conversational AI really necessary when someone is starting up on this conversational commerce journey? It kind of scares people out, saying that, okay, now we're talking AI, we are talking ML, and these are the words, some technology folks are guilty of bringing the scare in because just liberally throwing these words around. But is it absolutely necessary as step one when someone is starting off on a journey?
The short answer is no, because I think if you look at most of the bots that are out there today are what you would call as structured bots, where you have pre-configured the questions, and you have pre-configured the way the answers are derived, and all of us have experienced it. So the complexity starts increasing as you're trying to do NLP, like free form questions. You're trying to understand the intent. So even there are lots of no code tools, like Upshop also has no code tools that you can just use, or libraries that you can plug into your CX workflows. Or if you have a bot, then you can add an NLP library to that to give you that basic NLP capability. And then, you got to start training those models. So yeah, I mean, to answer your question, you don't have to start with that right at the beginning, but that's the way the whole technology is moving.
It's a definite part of the roadmap. It's a definite part.
It's a definite part of the roadmap, because we ourselves are working on a lot of NLP models for, like I said, all these vernacular languages, and as we're expanding internationally for international languages and things like that. So finally, just to complete the thing, what is underneath all this, like how do all these messaging, all this communication works, is that there's an omni-channel messaging platform that is underneath all of this, that's sort of orchestrating these conversations, starting with probably an automated voice call. If you're going to an IVR, dropping off the IVR, you get a WhatsApp chat. You click on something in the WhatsApp chat, it opens up another system. So this whole orchestration that's taking place is done by a conversational messaging platform. So it's like multi-layer, like I mentioned, but this is in a nutshell how the whole thing is enabled.
Okay, so what you're necessarily saying is that there needs to be some base systems in place, like a CDP or a customer data platform. There should be, maybe a CRM system which rides on the CDP, and obviously your conversational commerce philosophy as such needs to be, panned out as well. And I think that's the strategy that needs to be worked out. And
the good thing is, in the software world today, it's all driven by APIs. Everything is plug and play, so you don't have to build a stack on your own. Okay. And most of these systems, including ours, we have more than 200 plus integrations. So like our latest one is Shopify. So whichever platform the customers are working with, there is a plug and play model available. So it should not be a very long journey that you have to endure.
So Aruna, is it as simple as Shini is making it out to be, saying that this is plug and play, so it's very easy for you to get onto the bandwagon? Have you found that experience easy?
So I will answer it in two ways. One is technology is easy and not easy, right? So of course it's easy. There are a lot of options available to the way you can start it off at least. And then depending on your requirement, you can beef that requirement up, right? And a good tech team really helps get that. But yes, plug and play for a lot of things is easy. I found that especially easy for, the social media conversations and linking that into our CRM. I think that becomes easy, and also it becomes very convenient, right? Because you're going to be getting social media conversations all the time, 24/7.
Right.
And that and make sense of what the customer wants, whether it's a requirement, and you have to answer it real time there and then. So I think this really helps there immensely, because the number of teams that are monitoring the call center for delivery, etc., are much higher than on social media regularly, right? So I found that as a very good starting point, and I also found that it makes it immensely easy. But like I said, technology has its integration time and tested methods, and good tech team really helped us at TenderCuts.
So this is a very sorry, Siju, if I may just
sure,
comment here.
Yeah.
This particular use case that Aruna was talking about is very common, because I was talking to another D2C CMO, and he said he's actually employing people to monitor chatter on comments and posts and all of that. So a lot of that stuff is also getting automated in such a way that comments can get converted into two-way conversations now. So that's also possible on social media. So I just wanted to add that.
Yeah, I mean, one has to be careful. Otherwise, one gets onto the Twitter timeline with a series of ROFLs out there, because we've seen multiple such things happening with some food delivery companies as well. Right. So Amar, when it comes to deploying your conversational commerce strategy, which are the teams that you work with? I mean, who all did you work with? Because if I'm a brand and I need to start off on my conversational commerce journey, I should know the people that I should be having in-house and the people that I need to be talking to. So who are these folks? Amar, that question was for you. Could you hear me? I'm not sure if you could. Others could hear me? You're on mute, Amar. Yes.
Yeah, sorry. Can you please repeat the question? There's a problem with my internet. I couldn't get the question right.
Yeah, no worries. So we're just talking in terms of how which are the different parts of conversational commerce, right? And Aruna said, well, it's technology, so it could either be easy or it could be difficult depending on how you really want it to be, in a certain sense. And you need to have teams working with you as well. So when you at Neemans started off on this conversational commerce journey, how did you go about executing on this? Did you have teams within? Did you have teams from outside? Did you have Srini talking to you, or how was it? How did it work?
See, as we are also having a website on Shopify, so it's very easy by Shopify to have that CRM integrated. And once the CRM is integrated, it is, I think, the job of the tech team to take care. And we were lucky enough to have two people in working with us in the tech team, and they helped us do the process, and rest the CRMs like Gupshup and all, they do the process. So integration takes a little bit of time. Once the integration is done, I think you need to have people in terms of managing the chats or managing the flow of the entire process. But yes, we are also trying to ensure that we have the bots in place sooner or later, wherein the usage or the need of manpower reduces and the dependability on the bots increases in terms of the CRM, specifically for the basic questions with regard to the order, where exactly is the order, or where exactly they probably when will that get delivered. So all these questions can be answered by the bot. So that part we are integrating still, and hopefully it should be done in a few weeks time. So it is easy. It is not that difficult initially if you have the tech team in place and you have people to the CRM company does that. So that should not be a problem, because the Shopify, all these apps get integrated very easily. So it should not be a problem.
Okay, Deepanshu and Madhur, you agree to the sentiment here?
Yes, I second that thought.
Absolutely.
Okay. I mean, Srini, when there's a bunch of very experienced folks who say that okay, technology is really good and technology is easy, it's music to the ears, right? But having said that, technology advances at a rate which is increasing with every day. Right, the incremental growth in terms of technology is fabulous, and not only is there a vertical growth, there's a horizontal growth as well. Now, which gets me to the point that one of the largest messaging platforms, as far as India is concerned, and for the world, but I'll just stick to India right now, is WhatsApp. Right, and that's primarily because. So I don't know the latest numbers, Srini. Maybe you can enlighten me on that. Of the 1.3 billion that we have in population, we got about 500 odd WhatsApp, 500 million WhatsApp subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's big. So what's new in WhatsApp? Because it's been mired in controversy lately, and the payments part of it was supposed to come in, and finally they came in. But what's new in WhatsApp? What's new in WhatsApp that makes conversational commerce interesting? So if you could just give us an insight into that.
Well, I think WhatsApp launched something called WhatsApp Commerce, where recently some of you may have read about it. So WhatsApp Commerce is a capability that helps you to take a part of your catalog. In the initial run, I think you can take a certain number of SKUs, what you put on your website or app to WhatsApp, and the entire shopping experience of choosing a product, checking it out, payments, and everything can happen within the app itself, within the messaging app itself.
Mm-hmm.
So that we believe to be quite a big game changer. And from the initial feedback we received from various businesses that are already implementing this with us, we believe that this will take off in a big way. And also, in addition to probably from the same Meta family, Instagram has also sort of allowed Insta DMs to be automated now. So that is another thing that we see a lot of D2C brands and retail brands using, because they all advertise a lot on Instagram. But earlier, you could either sign up, go to a form or something like that. Now there's something called click to chat. So, and the chat is automated. So if you're running a campaign, then that's the CTA. So you can you can add a structured chatbot initially to start a conversation, and then hand it over to maybe a website workflow or something like that. So I believe that these two, features, if you will, that feature sets that have been launched by these two platforms, which are immensely popular, especially in India, will be quite game changing for a lot of these brands.
Okay, thank you so much for that. And is it safe to assume that every one of you has WhatsApp as a channel? Anyone who is not using WhatsApp as a channel for conversational commerce/engagement?
We do use it. What we are not using it for is for upsell as of now, because I think at that point, currently my consumer is still not being convinced and ready to try out something. He still need to be warmed up. I'm using WhatsApp prominently on basic of their requirements like post-purchase requirements. And if they have certain queries which are very basics, which could be customer service and complaints, order status request, and a little bit I've started for giving them new discounts and new offers. If you know someone who have never been active for a certain duration, I might shaking you up that, hey, I'm back with something for you. Please come and check out what's there for you.
Sure.
But not for upscale. Yeah.
Okay.
So what happened was WhatsApp for a long time, they allowed brands to send only informational messages. But very recently, they've allowed brands to now send promotional messages. So I think that has sort of opened up. And because, the data, almost 98, 99% open rate for a WhatsApp message. So you can compare that with email and all of that. But of course, you should be careful not to spam and all that. But I think it's really opening up a lot of possibilities for retail and D2C.
And any of the brands out here, or any of you folks have physical stores as well?
Yeah, we have physical stores in all the 3 cities. Recent was Bangalore.
Okay.
So our total strength is 52 stores now in these 3 cities.
Okay, wonderful. In fact, then, I need to ask you this. Like I said, I'm from a relic area, past era. So physical stores have been a core component of the business and the philosophy with which we've built up this entire customer engagement matrix, right? How do you see the role of physical stores in this whole conversational commerce philosophy?
Very, very relevant. And when you asked me initially, the first topic of discussion, see, finally, it is the customer, right? And I have to be available to him where he wants me to be available. So if he wants, and fresh is always something, traditionally customers are used to buying fresh by going to a store.
Correct.
So we don't want to compromise on that experience for all those customers who want that experience still. However, that ties back into our CRM system and into our overall bot system, so that the delivery schedules, of course, he has the app to rely on, but if there are questions, we get back into the same tool. So the tool is all linking, whether you're buying from me online or offline. So conversational commerce is really playing a big role even in physical stores, and is making it easy. So now, just to tell you that we have a system on our app where you can place the order online and pick it up offline if that's what you find more interesting, right? So that's an option available. Now, in that journey, also conversational commerce can play a big role. So it's becoming more and more relevant to us. Of course, customers, we use it more for transactions, but even for offers, right? When you want to talk about when he's going to come into the store, what's the offer available to him? So that's where we are using it, really.
Great. And physical stores are and physical stores are obviously points of experience, right? And so it all depends on the brand in terms of how they would want to weave in this point of experience into this whole conversational commerce life cycle. So one question that I would like to ask all of you is, have you explored Instagram automation? I mean, Srini kind of mentioned it in his talk about a couple of minutes back. But have you explored Instagram automation for product discovery, or for DM automation, or for an ad click to chat? Have you guys explored that?
No, we haven't.
We have tried it with WhatsApp, ad click to chat, and to have a conversation, and then understand what exactly the customer needs, and then offer him the best deal that we have. That's something that we have tried. We have other ways of communicating with our creators and stuff. So where we give we help creators in terms of what kind of content to be created on a daily basis. So we help them in terms of giving them stats and metrics around what exactly is happening around the world, or around their particular region, or in their locality, in their vernacular region, where they can actually start understanding what kind of content to be created, and help them, guide them in terms of which content and how exactly the content to be created. And they are connected with most of our experts, like how the video should be shot, or what kind of video can be created and such. So we have a whole set of engine with a creator economy, and at the same time for consumers we have a different engine that's on it.
Okay. Anyone else who uses Instagram the way Shini kind of brought it out? And Shini, what makes this platform so attractive now?
Well, it's because it's a very experiential platform. There's a lot of rich media out there. So a lot of people follow brands just to consume and look at the products in a very different way, in a multi-dimensional way, in an entertaining way. So there are two aspects to that, actually. One is the ads, click to chat is one part of it. But the other part of it is, if you're a brand and you have like X number of followers on Instagram today, and prior to this, there was no way in which you could have an automated conversation with them. Like, even if you follow an influencer or a celebrity, for example, if you ever tried DMing any of them, you normally don't get a reply back, because they probably get thousands of these DMs on a daily basis. Similarly, as a business also, you'll be getting thousands of DMs. There is a way for you to automate the responses, give them a set of choices, and walk them through a journey. The minute a user initiates a hi or hello with the brand, so that's organic. That doesn't require any advertising. That's organic, which can be baked into your handle directly.
Oh, that's actually new learning for me, Shini. Thank you so much, because I wasn't aware that you could really automate the DM process. I think that does open up a lot of avenues. So Mani, before I get on to the final question, Mani, one more question. So as a social commerce entity, do you engage with brands with only physical presence, or it's only digital native brands?
No, both the brands. People who wanted to start their digital presence can come onto our platform, as well as people who already are big in digital and wanted to move to social commerce as a place. Both the brands, both kind of brands are available. Mostly D2C, most of the brands, big brands of D2C are already available on the platform. We are also helping people who have no knowledge of digital to come on to trial and start their digital journey with us, and as well as people who are already big with digital. They can come and experience or start their social commerce journey on track. So we have all kind of brands in the platform.
Okay, that's good to hear. So coming to the last part of it, this is one question that I always keep wanting to ask the panel members, is for someone who wants to get onto this conversational commerce journey, what are the three things that you will tell them to do and not to do? Amar, let me start with you.
See, for the first and foremost thing is that need not get worried whether you need to have a good tech team, and need not get worried about how the process would work. The integration would be difficult. As long as you are on Shopify, WooCommerce, everything can be integrated with your CRM partner. It could be Freshworks, it could be LimeChat, or it could be Gupshup, or anything. It is not a problem. Second is you need to have a good support team in case you're not having a chat box or something, or you don't want to have a bot in place. And if you want to make it more conversational part, then bot wouldn't be an option. Bot could only solve a limited problem. You need to have good dedicated associates who can ensure that there is after sales support, and also a transaction which happens, or you can say a sale which happens through. Third is how do you evolve and reduce the CAC over it, because it's more and more conversational you make for the end consumer.
Right.
You can have a dedicated customer. You can say that a trust has been created. So when a trust has been created, automatically what happens is you need not go and advertise again and again to get the same consumer. So your CAC reduces. So these three things will play an integral part in terms of handling it. So you want to have good support. You want to have good tech team or good CRM partner. Third is, once you have this in place, ensure that you also get conversions through that platform, because that platform will reduce your CAC altogether. That's what I would suggest.
Yeah, that's a fantastic bit of insight. And a lot of startups, when they go to investing in fund houses, one of the crucial element is CAC, and that either makes or breaks the deal, right? it's always up to debate in terms of whether it's the right thing to do or not. But then if this is a good way to reduce CAC, why not? So Deepanshu, your 3 nuggets of advice in terms of what to do and what not to do.
So I believe that, focusing on organic growth by leveraging retargeting is something which one should absolutely focus on. I think this is something which we were very late to realize. So absolutely work on bringing back, all the customers which you have, transacted with in the past. So one is that, and the other part, I think from the AI bot perspective, I'm still traditional in terms of having a more personalized approach when it comes to building repo with the customers. So effective customer support team which can deal vernacularly is something which I would put my 2 bits on. And the other thing is not using complex technology, because unlike if you have Shopify or other as Amar had, then it's okay. But if you have your own platform or if you have your own in-house technology, then there are a lot of niggles one need to fine tune. So these 3 things are very critical for any company to be mindful of as you grow. I think he's disconnected.
I think he found the conversation really very interesting.
No, I think the Zoom has been designated for 1 hour and it's 4 to 5. So I think we are. Or I'm assuming that.
We are connected.
Yeah.
So I think there's nobody to hear. Only we can hear our conversations.
So how's the COVID situation, guys? Let's chat. Okay, he's back.
Talk. I mean, I was on two networks, and despite that, it happened. Okay, I'm so sorry about that. But I'm sure the message went out. Madhur, do you want to kind of tell us
what I have learned with my startup career is I would not say anyone to not try anything. So there are no don'ts for me. Try everything, because if you fail, you will teach us. If you succeed, we'll follow you. One thing. What elements I'm going to add to it is use this data correctly and for better analytics, so that you can improve your structure towards it. Prepare and personalize the customer journey for it and make it more and more relevant to the consumer, and focus on the customer engagement. Just don't keep doing it. Don't make it a pain for a consumer also, that I keep getting either the pushes or the DMs, which I get it from many brands, and I really feel sometimes upset about. I follow them because they give me a learning on how the D2C skincare brand is growing. But what they do is, even if I'm never purchased from them, they still want me to buy something, which I really don't know. I'm not your customer.
Yeah, I guess that's the pitfall of having a connect.
I will still open it to see what good you're doing, to learn from it.
So I guess I mean it's a fact, right? I mean, you either learn from your mistakes or learn from someone else's mistakes. Madhur is very, very clear that he's willing. He's just waiting in the flanks to learn from everyone's mistakes, which is good. So I think we've come to the end of a very, very enlightening discussion, wherein we kind of discuss the innards of conversational commerce, demystified a certain part of this whole philosophy, got a first-hand knowledge from brands in terms of how to embark on this journey. Very, very clearly, you need to have your customer journey mapping ready with you. You must be absolutely clear in terms of what is it that you want to do from a customer engagement perspective. Then you need to have the necessary technology foundation laid out. And last but not the least, probably you should be having a good partner with whom you can work this whole journey around and take it in phases. I mean, these are three elements on which I can probably distill the entire 60 minutes of discussions into. Is there anything anyone else wants to add to this?
No, I think I'm good for it. I'm good for it.
Okay. Fantastic. Srini, any last thoughts from you?
Yeah, hey, sorry, I'm having some connectivity issues. But I think conversational commerce is definitely something that all brands should focus on and sort of double click and identify those 1 or 2 key messaging channels that most of the consumers are on. And I think that's a great place to start.
Fantastic. So thank you so much, Madhur. Get well soon, please. But thank you so much for giving us the time today. Aruna, all the very best with TenderCuts. Waiting for you guys to reach Mumbai. Deepanshu, all the very best for you to you and the team at ZappFresh. Yeah, Amar, I think it's time to try one of your shoes out. Certainly very, very innovative. And hopefully when I'm in Hyderabad, we'll catch up with you as well. Mani, thank you so much. So entire aspect of social commerce, it's gotten my imagination now. So I'll probably be interacting a little more with you on this. Look forward to that. And last but not the least, Srini, thank you so much for this session wherein you gave insights in terms of what this whole enigma called conversational commerce is all about, and how do we go ahead, embarking on that journey. Thank you so very much, and all the very best to you and Kapshap.
Thank you,
guys.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thanks for your time.